Welcome to my fragrance show. We'll learn together and grow together. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Hey, hello, my lovely fragrance blenders. How are you doing? Yesterday, I was able to go to a fragrance launch event over at Muse in Harlem. Shout outs to Kim. You are really doing your thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful arrangement you have there. Wonderful paintings and fragrances that she offers. So shout outs to you. She gave a wonderful, wonderful introductory speech. It was very welcoming. The ambiance there at Muse is exactly that. It's very like home. I find it very special, and I will be visiting again. This was my first time going there. As my friend Kelz said, it was a bucket list situation, and she was able to cross that off her bucket list. And the launch was actually for Zernell Gillie. He has a fragrance house, and the fragrance house also goes by his name, Zernell Gillie Fragrances. And so what I purchased two fragrances. I purchased House and I purchased Jazz. Now Jazz, all his fragrance offerings are music inspired. He has hip hop, he has disco, I believe he has techno, and I learned some music history there too, because I didn't know that techno was from here, the United States. I always thought techno music was from outside. House music, the thing that created that house came from is actually from jazz. It's so house is American born. So I learned a lot of stuff there also. He himself gave a wonderful speech. He had a Q&A, just wonderful, wonderful, very impressive person. And the fragrances are impressive. Also, shout outs to Marcelina. Well, this is it. I want to show you guys. Jazz, baby, jazz. And this does not smell like jazz hands. This smells like jazz. The jazz that came out of the blues, the jazz that is legit jazz. And so I was conversing with my friend Kelz, because I spent the afternoon, a fragrant afternoon with Kelz, kicking it with Kelz. If you're not subscribed to her, subscribe. Kicking it with Kelz. So I'm gonna be sniffing like this, not because I'm sick, but it's cold outside and I'm opening and closing doors. So I'm gonna be like that for a bit. So bear with me. So I got to spend the afternoon and evening with Kelz, and part of that was going to this event. And on our way there, we're talking about what our expectations were for this fragrance. And I told her, for me, immediately, I'm thinking patchouli, I'm thinking vanilla, I'm thinking elemi. Elemi is very smoky. I'm thinking ginger, because ginger gives citrus, right? But it gives you an earthy citrus. It gives you a kind of a citrus. And I forgot what other thing. I said if there had to be a floral in there, for some reason I was thinking there would be a white floral, such as a magnolia or a tuberose, but not a bright tuberose. I was thinking more of a muffled tuberose, like an orris tuberose, and then of course woods. So that was that. I always say don't have expectations, but have an idea, of what you think could be, right? Because expectations are kind of more solid than an idea. Because an idea is like, okay, it could be this, it could be that. An expectation is, this is what I am wanting. this is what I add wanting to smell. And someone might say, but it's not wanting, it's just expecting. What does expect mean? It means that when you smell something, if you expect something to smell a certain way, you want it to smell a certain way. Because if expecting wasn't wanting, there'd be no disappointment. So when you expect something and it's not what you wanted, you feel disappointed. So I had an idea of what it could be. This was going to be my first official nose exposure to Zernell Gillie, and I gotta tell you, I was not disappointed. I was not disappointed at all, at all. The jazz. So the first fragrance that I smelled was House. Shout outs to Lorraine, someone I got to meet there. She, I believe it was Lorraine. If it wasn't Lorraine, forgive me. But they had just been smelling the fragrances, and they were like, you gotta smell House. And so I sprayed House on my hand, and I smelled it, and it was, I had to get it. So House for me reminded me of, this is how I describe it. House for me was 1990 behind 700 Westchester doing backflips and smelling a friend of mine's sandalwood fragrance. Now, I don't know the notes or anything like that, but that's what it reminded me of. And during that time, what was my favorite kind of music? Coincidentally, it was House. You know, so his fragrance really does evoke the sound and, for me, a time. It evokes a time. So back to the idea that I had. So that was the idea that I had for jazz. And when I smelled jazz, can I tell you something? He delivered. He delivered. He hit it on the mark. It doesn't have any. I think it has vanilla, but it doesn't have any of the other notes that I had mentioned. I'm gonna look up the thing here. But it didn't have the patchouli. It didn't, but it gave me all of the feels that I was looking for. So here we go. It says, it opens with a vibrant note of red mandarin. Red mandarin was able to cover my idea of that ginger citrus oracee. You know, the oracee meaning depth. It's a buttery citrus, not a bright citrus. Blending seamlessly into a rich heart of mahogany, honey, and tobacco. Okay, so for me, that tobacco was able to cover the patchoulic expectation. I loved it. I loved it. And the honey was surprising. It was surprising. Can I say that the honey is a Aurum honey? Absolutely not. This is its own kind of materials. You know, it's its own kind of materials. The other thing I'm gonna show you is the atomizer. Look at that. Do you see that? Oh, this is so wonderful. This just makes me happy. Just makes me happy. So it's 31 degrees. 31 degrees. And this is behaving so beautifully. Jazz is behaving so beautifully. Yes, you get the honey, you get the tobacco out in this cold weather. It's sweet. You get some sweetness. It's not gourmand sweet per se, but it's sweet. It's like, you know how sweet it is? It's like a saxophone sweet. Sweet. It's like that. Okay. Opopanax and smooth white musk. So I was talking with my friend too. We were like, because I know I had researched Opopanax before, right? Opopanax, right? And I'm gonna type it in because you guys know my memory is not the best. So it's a sweet, balsamic, spicy aroma with woody, root-like undertone. And yes, you do get that. Opopanax in here, I'm not gonna say that Opopanax is the star, but Opopanax is the leading role. You know, it's like in a group of stellar performers, you know, pianists, saxophonists, bassists, you know, trombonist. Opopanax is the vocalist. Does that make sense? You know, and so is this one that I would say is a must buy? I would say it's a must smell. And chances are, I'm gonna say 7 times out of 10, after you smell it, you're gonna have to buy it because it really does hit multiple chords. And by that I mean, it is unisex. It is unisex, like in the sincerest form of the word. Anyone can wear it. Anyone can wear it. So yeah, jazz for me gets I'm gonna say it gets my score, it gets a 45 out of 10. It gets a 45 out of 10, and that means a 9.5. It's a 45 out of 10. This one is a superstar. This is one that you don't have to like jazz to love this. Let's put it like that. You don't have to like jazz to love this. So yes, I was very impressed. Also, the event was great. I got to meet people. I got to meet Yumi. What's up, Yumi? I got to meet Yumi. I saw my sister Carrie. I got to meet Marshmallow in person and give her a hug, multiple bear hugs. I love Marcelina so much. It was just a wonderful event. It felt like I went to a cousin's house. That's what it felt like. It felt like I went to a cousin's house who also likes fragrance, and you know, it was just a special event. So if you get the chance, I don't know if Muse does this yearly, you know, I'm gonna be more conscious of it, but the Muse events are very much like family, you know, so check them out. Okay, that was it. This is my feeling of jazz. It is something I'm gonna make sure to have in my collection, particularly winter. It's beautiful right now. I'm testing it out in the freezing cold, and it's behaving beautifully. So let me know, have you had any experiences with Zernell Gillie fragrances? And let me know what they have been. I don't believe that there's necessarily good or bad when it comes to fragrances. The reason for that is because it is so particular, and it is so subjective, right? It's as per the subject's nose that is smelling it. But multiple subjects smelled jazz and multiple subjects loved it. Goodbye, my lovely fragrance blender. I'll see and smell you soon.